everybody. I'm Yasmina of Just Say Yeah, and I'm here to talk about making a cake. Okay, so if you want to bake a cake, depending on what type of cake, you look inside that recipe book and you see what it should look like. It tells you how much ingredients and what type of ingredients to put in it, the measurements. Well, that's what the Word of God is for us. Open that book and it'll tell you exactly who you were called to be, how you're supposed to walk and talk, and how you're supposed to think. If you follow that recipe, you will be the picture that you see, the picture that God has for you. Now listen, I know that if I don't follow the ingredients and I'm trying to make something and I divert off that recipe, it doesn't come out like the picture shows in the recipe book. Well, neither will you. Make sure you follow God's plan for your life. And remember to just say yes. Hi, everybody. How are you today? I am Yasmina of Just Say Yeah, and we are here talking about what it means to love me, love life, live healthy. Of course, I have a beautiful array of women with me today. But I'm going to let them introduce themselves. All right. Introduce yourself. Come on.
All right.
Shawuana.
Happy Saturday. I am Shawuana. I am a community mental health specialist as well as the owner of Precision Line Dancing, and it's such a pleasure to be with you all today.
Hi, everybody. My name is LaNetta Small-Whittle. I am the owner of Whittle Love Daycare, and I'm super excited to have Terri here today. I love her.
Yes.
So now we need you to introduce yourself, Terri. Tell us, who are you?
Who am I? No, I'm Terri Reeves, and I am the owner of Body Temple Fitness and promoter of the Natural Central Valley Championships that's coming up here in Fresno on August 21st. So
that sounds like that's around the corner. So next month. That is absolutely amazing. And it seems to me that you've been putting this show on for quite some time. This isn't just some stroll by the park and you just happen to do it this year. How long have you been doing this show?
Well, I'm calling it the 10+1 anniversary because it actually was supposed to be 10 years in 2020. But since that was a bye year and nothing happened for anybody, I'm calling it the 10+1 anniversary. So,
see, I like that. I like how she just she made those adjustments and kept it moving. So today, you know, I felt that you would be a perfect person as we talk about this topic. And the topic is living by faith. You know, as I look at the faces here, every one of the faces here knows what it means to live by faith. And we just want to share with you what that means to us. And of course, we know what the word says. We know, well, we're going to go over all of that. But I know that Terri has an amazing story that happened over 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when she worked for a company, let me say, I think by the name of Merrill Lynch. But she has an amazing walk by faith story. So before we go there, I want to just tell you or say to you what, let's see here. Okay, we know that. You know I need to do this. Okay. This is real. These are real. I should just leave them on my face. So 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." We walk by faith and not by sight. Now we know in order to live this life in the way that God has purpose for us too, we need to learn to live by faith. And the reason Scripture tells us, and we know that Scripture is very strategic, it tells us things on purpose, not by sight, because God already knew that we're going to see some things, we're going to go through some things that are going to really want to derail us. So walking by faith is very important. So ladies, chime in, with the exception of Terri, because I want you to tell your story here in a moment on what that means to you by, walking by faith. LaNetta.
Yes. I think of as a child playing this game, you will have another friend and you'll close your eyes and you'll have them lead you around. And with that game, I always had that trust issue. So I will always like squint my eyes and open them a little bit to see where I was going to make sure I didn't hit anything.
Yes.
But with God and by God, his strength and his power and his promises that he has for us, I'm able to close my eyes completely with my arms tied on my back. And I know that he who prepared me for any and everything will guide me through without bumps and, with the bumps of the toes and the bruises. I'm so grateful to actually be able to use my faith and work with my faith and things to manifest when things look dark. It's just like, just how brilliant is he, how merciful and graceful is he that he chose me to be his child.
Yes.
That is absolutely beautiful. I like that when you reference that game, that and that still squinting a little, like, let me make sure they're not going to run me into a wall. Let me make sure I'm not going to stumble and fall. Shawuana, tell us, lightning, what does that mean for you? And I know watching you for these last, I don't know how many years, because it's been amazing to watch you walk by faith. Tell us.
I tell you, ladies, life is totally a faith walk. I've experienced it firsthand and to this day, and walking by faith. The word says we walk by faith and not by sight. And, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So it is absolutely trusting in things that we cannot see. We're trusting in God to make these things happen. So when I tell you I am leaning and trusting on him, because when I look at my life and the things that I thought and planned out, I said things was going to go this way, no, ma'am. I had to sit up there and trust in God to say he's going to lead me and guide me through life. And I just put everything to the side. I said, listen, Lord, have your way. Have your way. I'm walking by faith. There's no other way to do this thing but to walk by faith. If we didn't have faith, if things were in front of us, we already see them, we wouldn't have faith. So God says, trust me. He says, without faith, it's impossible to please him.
Absolutely.
Without faith, it's impossible to please him. So we have to have faith. So this is such a big topic, and I'm so glad that we are talking about this on today, ladies. I'm so excited about it.
Shawuana, I'm so glad you said that too. The word does say it's impossible to please God. And I know so many people, honestly, we want to please him. We do. Of course, we are, us being 3-part beings. Well, one of those parts is flesh. So that's why we need him, okay? Because that helps to guide us. That helps to get us right. Because we need him for that. So we hear about what we need to do. But Terri, I would love if you would share with us an actual acts of faith. And everybody, I want you to listen closely to the faith that this woman has had through the years, no matter what, and where it started. We are going to demonstrate, we're going to talk to you about what it means to have faith. So Terri, please share.
Okay, you want me to go back, huh?
I want you, and you don't have to, just enough to let people know that they see you here now, Terri, the owner of Body Temple Fitness. They see you now, the promoter of Central Valley Championships, but they don't understand that it took faith for you to get here.
Yeah.
And so, yes, please share.
I wish I would have known this. I would have had my book. I think I talked to you about this before. I gave myself to Christ like in 1997, 1998. And during that time, I went back east to visit my family, my brother and his wife. And, being new at this, I'm, not knowing, so I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm a question asker. So then she said, why not just write down, talk to God, write down what you're feeling, what you want from him, what he expects from you. So I'm like, okay. So on my way home on the plane, I had one of those, remember the old day timers? And in the back, it has your goals and all that stuff. So I'm writing down that stuff. I'm telling you, if you look at that thing now, you would think I wrote it like a week ago or a month ago, because I just wrote, the things that he expected, reading his word and say, okay, this says that, so this is what I'm going to say to that. This is what that says, and this is what I'm going to say to that. So it's just things like I wanted to be a good child of God, and not knowing. In the beginning, I was a baby, like an infant at the time. We all still kind of infants, because we will never really get there until we get there. But so I'm writing this thing out, and I want to be a good aunt because I have a niece and a nephew. At the time, I'm working at Merrill Lynch, and I've been there for 15 years or so. And so there, and I would never leave. We know we would never leave something we're comfortable at, to go into something unknown. So of course I didn't leave, but I said I want to be. I just got into fitness, kind of. I want to be a good example for the fitness industry with Christ involved. So I wanted that. I wanted to do something like, not a show, but I didn't mention that. I just said something in the bodybuilding industry that's going to show that my faith would be risen from that. Right. And so I'm writing these things, and over time, I'm at Merrill Lynch, and I got laid off from there. And I'm like, what? First, they gave me a voluntary layoff, and then about maybe a month before, they said, we can't let you go. And I'm like, wait, what? I made all these plans to do that, so I had to stay they gave me another year there. And the next year comes around the same time, and they said they're laying, this time they just picked my name off, and it was me. So I'm like, what did I do? And they said, no, we know you wanted it so much last year, so we're going to give you the same kind of severance pay. So I leave, and everybody else is more upset than I am. I'm like, what? You're in control of this. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I go to work on a Monday, and I come home at 9 o'clock on a Monday, and not knowing what I'm going to do. So, I just prayed, and I called some friends over, and we talked about it, and said, okay, I want to do the fitness stuff before, so let me just do it again. So I started doing that, and it evolved from there. And then I got a job. I kept calling Gold's Gym. I'm like, open.
Oh, I miss Gold's Gym. I miss Gold's Gym.
Right.
Yes.
And so I'm there. I think I was their first trainer, because I was in there every day, while I was being built, talking to Kevin, saying, can I have a job here? Can I have a job here? Can I have a job here? So finally, when they opened, I got the job there. And then, still praying and still competing. And even about me competing, I'm like, Lord, should I be doing this? I'm up there in this little bathing suit. At the time, you don't know anything. So I'm like, is this good? I got this little bathing suit on. I'm in front of all these people. And I found some scripture, and it just said, I think it's 1 Corinthians 10:31. It says, whatever you do to the glory of God. Whether you eat, whatever, do it for the glory. I'm like, okay, I could do that. Just change my purpose. People said, does that change how you compete? No, it changed my purpose. It changed how I purpose myself while I'm training, how I conduct myself, how I, when I get on stage, how do I treat people backstage? How do I do my routines? What kind of music? All that kind of stuff. So that, from that point, so I just stayed with that. And then Gold's Gym closed. I'm like, okay, now what? What do I do now? And it just progressions. I went to another gym, and then I opened my own gym. I said, Lord, is this time? Is it time? Yes. So I opened my own gym, and I had that for 7 years. And then things happened where I was supposed to do something with someone else at a golf guy, and that didn't go through. So after I closed my gym, so now I am where I am. And it all taken, so now I'm kind of changing a little bit. I'm still doing fitness.
So wait, because you're at the point of your story where there's a change, a transition. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a change. We're going to have a transition. We're going to take a break. So that when we come back, we can resume and hear the story of where you are today.
So good.
It's so good. It's so good. And I have comments to say. I got something to say. So so we're going to be right back, everybody. And we're going to keep talking. We're going to keep sharing with Terri. We're going to listen to her. We're going to talk about and make sure we all go to this show. And we're going to hear more about your faith walk. We'll be right back.
Okay.
When events around me seem overwhelming, when worry and doubt darken the landscape of my mind, I call forth faith. Faith expands my awareness to recognize the presence of spirit in every person, place, and circumstance. It reminds me to trust in my abilities and believe in myself, knowing I am ever supported by the divine. Faith uplifts my thoughts and words to create a brighter picture. It opens me to divine guidance, intuitive knowing, and spiritual nudges. Faith reassures me that from a divine perspective, all is truly well.
Everybody, how are you? We are back. We are talking about what it means to live by faith. And of course, you know who I am. I'm Yasmina of Just Say Yeah, and I am so blessed to be able to have these beautiful women here with me, and we're hearing Terri's story. Now listen, we're to faith. Now, so far, Terri, everything you've said has been amazing. Just hearing the fact that, you know, as you went along on this journey, it sounds like you had no idea what was in front of you. You just had to keep moving. You didn't have the plan. It's not like God showed you everything ahead of time.
Right.
I guess that's what faith really is.
Yeah.
So now tell us, continue with the story. We've transitioned to now.
Okay, so now, how many years later? 20 so years later, I am still going by faith, you know, doing the next right thing, hopefully. So I'm out of Merrill Lynch, I'm at Gold's Gym, that closed, I'm somewhere else, I'm working there, that closes, and I open another gym, and then that kind of goes, and now I'm where I am today. And that is, I'm still coaching, still training, but I'm like, it's time. It's not just the physical. I have to, it's so much, you know, like Jeremiah says in, I remember I know it's in Jeremiah, he says, it's like fire shut up in my bones. Yes. And not that it's fire, it's just like he didn't want to do some things. He's like, why? Yeah. So why is this? But he had to, because it was like, even though it hurt him, even though things wasn't going the way he wanted it to go, he was like, it's like fire shut up in my bone. It has to come out.
Yes.
And it might be a way that you know I'm not really happy with, or it's not going the way I want to go. I even know about it, but as I walk by faith, that next right thing, God is going to give that next step to me. Yes. And so, you know, that's kind of where I am now, is where I'm just like, okay, even if I'm scared, do it if you're scared. Because as you do it, as you're scared, you will grow into it. Right. So that kind of, so I'm going to just kind of segue into something else for a second. Of course. And I tell competitors, they always ask me, like doing the show stuff, like, where should I start? Should I start at bikini? Do you want to start at bikini? You know, you don't have to. Do you want to start there? Well, that's what they tell me I should, because I'm small or whatever. I'm like, I'm small too, but I started. Well, that's what we have with bodybuilding. I'm like, start where your heart and your passion is, get the experience, grow, fail, do all the stuff, and grow into it. So if you want to start at bodybuilding, start there. That's it. Grow, learn, experience, fail, do whatever. And over time, you will grow into that. But if you start in bikini, you don't know what bodybuilding has to offer because you're afraid to go there. So it's like, start where your heart and your passion is and what that spirit is telling you to do, and then do it and grow into it.
That's good.
Ooh, that was so good.
Yeah. So that's what kind of I do. Is like, okay, I'm afraid to do that, or I don't have the whatever it is. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the looks. I don't have whatever it is. Do it, because he tells me to do it, and he will equip. He doesn't equip the call. He doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called.
That part.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
That right there is absolutely amazing. There's nuggets so many nuggets that you shared.
Right.
And I know all three of us heard some amazing nuggets.
Yes,
so
we did.
we're going to pick your brain here. I'm going to start, and then they're going to go. So I just want to reiterate the fact that you said, do it anyway. Go forward. Go where your passion is. Because it seems to me that when we go where our passion is, and we know where that is, so we're communing with the Lord, he's going to facilitate that for us. But we have to take that step. And so what stands out to me, you said your entire story proves that you're not going to have the answers at the beginning.
Right.
That in order to get the next step, you had to have made the last step. So thank you for that. And I know these ladies have things to chime in on, so I'm going to go ahead and sit back and let the wind blow.
Yes, I love how Terri talked about being afraid. Even when she was afraid, she continued to keep her faith and walk. Yeah. And we know what the word says. That's why I love the word so much, because it says that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So when we know that, then that says, okay, well, that's not from God. Let me continue to push forward, because he didn't give me the fear. So that way I know, even though I'm afraid, I can push through that and continue walking in faith. And that takes us to another place, because the enemy will try to use that to keep us from getting to our goals and our purpose in life to accomplish that. So even like you said, if that fear comes, like she said, she pushed through it, and that's what all of us should be doing as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm just that your ego, because our ego can get in the way so many times.
Yeah.
And you accepted where you were at, but yet willing to learn also with those babies. So where did that come from?
Like Paul said, I learned to be content.
Oh, come on.
And you learn to be content by experiences. There's things is like, you can't keep fighting something. If it happens and it's like, and then you walking with the Lord at some time, it's like, come on now. So you try to fight it first. You try to push back. You try all the stuff, and it's like, it's not working. I can't win. And you never feel that peace, and you never feel that. So just let go and let him. So it happened like I got you. It didn't happen that way. It happened through fighting and doing all the things that you just say, okay. And then through those times, through that okay, then you get more peace. And through that more peace, then he gives you more things. And through the more things, you get, more revelation. So it just happens by...
I love that, Terri.
Just doing it, just doing
That's
it.
amazing. And it makes me think that I get it now. I didn't years before. There's so many scriptures that I and of course I don't get them in their full, because it's for forever where we're going. It's a journey. But understanding truly what it means to go from faith to faith. Truly understanding that. And right here, I have some things that I would like you ladies to, just some little things and whatever strikes your mind. It has to do with faith, because one of the things, what LaNetta asked you and what you answered was wonderful. I loved how you said you had to learn it. Absolutely. You had to learn to be content. Because I know a lot of times, and I've done that before, where I feel like I should just already be. Well, so I'm glad that you two pointed that out. No. We have to learn this, and it's something that we can learn when we accept it, when we accept where we're going, what we need to do, and the work that needs to be done. So here, faith. Here's some words, okay, that I'm going to say out, and then of course you ladies just chime in on what it means to you, or add to it. I would love it. So this first one is, since we were here with you, we're going to have you start first. Terri, what does it mean to you to trust God? Tell people what that means so they can move forward and navigate through that?
Well, the trust, just like with anything else, I'm sitting in this chair. I trust the chair to hold me up.
Yeah.
In the chair.
Yes.
So it's like still not knowing, but your mind is so content on that thing being that thing.
Yes.
That I have to, put my trust in it. And like we talk about learning, just like if I put the chair together, if I had to put this chair together myself, I'm going to shake it around and move it to make sure it's strong enough for me to sit on it. But if I knew that the creator that knew how to make this chair made it, then I'm going to trust it to sit in it.
Yes.
So
thank you.
Same thing with that is like you learn them, like as a baby, you learn your parents or whatever. I trust the creator because I know he's good and I know he's the best. I know his word says he will never let me fall and he will never let me fail. In our sense of fail,
Yes.
But so I sit in this chair. So that's how, I put my trust in it because I know the creator that made it is not going to steer me wrong. And still that came from learning. So
I love that. Thank you. Because look, at every one of us is sitting in a chair right now.
Right.
I don't know. We don't know. You don't know, LaNetta, who put together your couch.
More furniture did.
Sure. There you go. Now, if we can all think of the face of the person, no, we just trust it. That was amazing, Terri. Thank you. Lightning.
Yes.
Asking Jesus into our heart as it relates to faith. What does that mean?
Wow. That is such asking Jesus into our heart. I think that is just so endearing. I think it's a powerful thing that God allows us the opportunity to have, relationship with him. Now, he's not going to force it on us, but to know that he's always there offering it to everyone is such a blessing to me. It's an honor. And I consider myself to be blessed to be able to say, Lord, I'm here. Use me as you will. I'm like I said, this whole talk about faith, I mean, that's what it's about, you guys, is living in faith and walking by faith. And it's not easy, right? No, it's not easy. And a lot of times we look at our circumstances and say, okay, well, I can't see this, I can't see that. But when we rest in God, I know you asked Terri about trusting in God. My thing is this, is when you could literally rest in him and have confidence in knowing that he said that, in all things, things work together for the good of those who love him, So all things work together. No matter if it's bad, no matter if it's good, everything's going to work together for our good because we love him. So I'm just trusting in God and I consider it an honor to be able to, have relationship with him and definitely asking him into our hearts, to come in us. I mean, we want him to live on the inside of us. And when he does, it comes out when we talk to people. It comes out when we're out and about around others. And we can be able to share his love to everyone, especially those who don't know him.
Thank you so much, Lightning.
Yes.
LaNetta, I'm coming down your street right about now. And I want you to speak on what it means as it relates to faith, distinguishing between the actions of God and man.
Well, first off, God knows what's best for us. I can steer myself in a direction that I'm going down this dark tunnel or I'm falling into that ditch. Yeah. God has our future planned out. By that, only I can do is trust and know that he's going to direct me in the correct way that I need to go. That's best for me. I can sit there and say that I can handle $1 million, but at the end of the day, can you really handle $1 million? Will I lose myself? Will I forget who have created me? Will I forget my foundation as far as, knowing how to be with money? Do I go out there and just spend, or do I help that person that's in need? So by everything, I know God has my best interest, and I walk by that every day.
Ooh, thank you so very much. Terri, you're next in the queue.
Terri.
You're on deck. Powerlifting, that's what they say. You're on deck. So when you're on deck, you're like, all right, let me get ready.
Yeah.
Okay. What does it mean as it relates to faith about receiving the gift of faith in God for salvation?
Ooh. In regards to salvation, well, we just know that God made us and we are made in his image. What's the word? the mayor. I can't think of this. Diego. Anyway, we made in his image. So we know that we made in his image, that he sent his son. I just call it the Roman road. Like, we are born, we're sinners. We were born into it. And then knowing that we born into it, is no way all the laws in the world, like the Old Testament laws, are going to get us. That's just showing us that we need help, because we can't even keep those things. Right. And just knowing that faith, I have to trust that I can't do it myself. I can't make myself good. I can't even clean myself up. But I have to trust in that one who can, and who's the one I'm in his image, to do it for me, because that's what he said he was going to do. So
nice. You know, we're getting ready to go on another break. But before we do, I want Terri to reiterate and talk to us about her show, where it is, how we can get tickets, because Terri she won't be able to be on the last few minutes of the show because she has a very busy day. And so, Terri, I need you to tell us how they can find you, everything. Tell us.
All right. Well, we're talking about the show. So the show is the INBF, Natural Central Valley Pro Qualifier Championships. It's going to be held. This is the thing. I screwed up the flyer, because last year we were supposed to have it at my church. So we put that address on the flyer and forgot to change it for this year back to Clovis North.
Okay.
So actually, not at the church where it was supposed to be last year. It's at Clovis North, the Performing Arts Center, on the 21st. So it's that day. If you still want to enter the show, you can go to my website, which is naturalcentralvalleymuscle.org, and sign up for the show. Or you can go there and buy tickets for the show for that day. And it's going to be a good time. It's like I say, it's the 10+1 anniversary. So it's going to be a little special. Every winner gets a sword, which I didn't used to do that before. Just the pro qualifiers got a sword, but every winner, even the teams. Even so, if you come as a spectator, you could get a sword as well, because I do a thing called mom bod and dad bod.
Nice.
Oh yeah, we go.
So mom bod, you can't do it.
Fine.
The stipulation where you can't have ever won a show before.
I'm not talking to you now.
So because you know all the deal. You know the deal.
I know the deal.
Yeah. So LaNetta and Shawuana can do it.
Okay.
So you get on stage and I'll just call like 5 or 6 women as mom bod to get on stage. The head judge will take them through a couple of quarter turns. You can do anything.
Oh, cool. What should they wear? Because you know I'm gonna have them go. What do they need to wear?
They just whatever they have on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
let's go.
Okay. Not like
let's
have to wear something, but they just do it. It's usually personality that wins. You know, they don't know really what they're doing.
That's me.
Right. So you went and the audience picks you, because the judges don't. It's not like that. So I stand behind, and whoever gets the most applause, and whoever wins gets the sword, just like the first place winners get. So they get the sword. And then the bad bod, they have to take their shirts off though.
Okay.
Bad bod takes their shirts off, and they come up and do the same quarter turns, and whoever the audience picks, they get the sword. But they can't take the sword to the audience. I keep it backstage till it's over, because that's a real weapon.
Right. Yes.
You can't take that to the audience, so I'll keep it backstage until it's over. You get it. So it's gonna be fun, good time, a family event, kind of thing. And I look forward to seeing everybody there. A lot of people on stage, and I wish I could talk about that more, but since we can't, because it's a little bit different from other shows, but.
Absolutely. Well, we might have to have you come back on the beginning of next month before the show to talk about the show more. How about that? Yes. Whatever we got to do, we can do that.
Let's make it happen.
Because God is good. He's our daddy, and He can, and He's good.
That's right.
So yes. How do people contact you? How do they get in touch with you for training, for coaching, for the show? What do they need to do?
Well, you can go on any social media channel. Instagram, and it'll be my name, Body Temple Fit, on there. My website is naturalcentralvalleymuscle.org, or Facebook, Terri Reeves.
And that's Terri, right?
Terri Reeves, like Christopher Reeves with an S, Reeves. Now with training, I really, my main thing is not coaching competitors. I mean, I do, and I do a lot of posing with them, but my main thing is not coaching competitors.
Got it.
Most of my clients are, they're older and they have like just, I call it like just holistic coaching. So we go through it all. We go through the training, the physical and the mental and all the stuff that goes with it to have a whole life, you know. So that's what most of my clients are. And it's not, bodybuilders not saying I don't, but that's not the kind of gist of the business that I do.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I just want to thank you so much for coming on, Terri. You absolutely have to come back on for. We got many topics we can talk about and many things we can do. So we definitely, I will be bugging you. And you know, I've known Terri for, oh my gosh, like 30 something years, right?
Long time. What time? Just real quick, when you got that ticket in my car.
Stop it! Stop it! You stop it!
I wake up and we on the side of the road.
She had faith that I would get us there, but I did get us there safe. Just we got to take it first. We got
right. Yes.
Oh Lord, man. See, that's how we have faith in our friendship. We don't have to see each other every day. We don't see each other every day. We don't talk all the time. But do you know, I know that Terri is my friend. And that I know by faith. And I thank you so much. We appreciate you. I'm going to bug you to see what your calendar is like so you can come back. And we're going to help you promote this show.
Yes.
So have a wonderful day, and we love you.
Thank you, Terri.
All right. I appreciate you guys.
We love you.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. So, everybody, we are going to take a quick little break, and we're going to come back. We're going to go ahead and sum all this up. Us three peas in a pod. We're going to go ahead and sum up our show, but first we must take a break. So we'll see you in just a moment.
Yes.
So how do you find
Hi, everybody. We are back, and we've just been having the most amazing show. Terri had to leave because she has other responsibilities and things that she needs to do, and she was absolutely a joy to have on the show. We are so grateful. She shared with us so many nuggets about what it means to live by faith. She shared her story, and that truly is a story of faith, and so we are just very thankful that we were able to share this time with her. We are going to continue. We have some closing remarks. We have a few more minutes, and we just want to share with you some more on this topic of living by faith, because it is very important. In order to love me, love life, and live healthy, you have to be able to have faith. Have faith in who you are. Have faith in who God created you to be. Not trying to have faith or be somebody else or something. Trying to think that if I can be like this person and do what they're doing like they're doing, because you may be meant to do what they're doing, but you're not meant to do it like they're doing. God made each and every one of us in a unique way. And I think part of, one of the reasons, and you ladies, I'll need you to know that one of the things that that I love about you too is because we really are all so different, but we all beat the same and beat the same beat.
Yes.
Like we're the same, but we're so different.
Mm-hmm.
And we love each other for those differences, because those differences, when we come together, brings power.
Yes.
So I say that to everybody because I want everyone to understand that there's power in your difference.
Yes.
God didn't make you to be like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
God is too big a God. If he made different colors, if he made different kinds of birds, if he made different types of flowers, well, he didn't want every flower to be a rose. As beautiful as roses are, wouldn't it be boring to have nothing but a bouquet of red roses?
Right.
That's it. No, God is amazing, and he wants you to have faith in who he has called you to be and to walk in it. So we're going to go we have a few more moments, and we like to use every bit of our time. So, LaNetta, let me ask you this. What does it mean to spur in one another affection and good deeds as it relates to faith?
You know what? I had this little boy on Friday, and we were at Subway, and it was an individual that was homeless, and I had told the cashier, I said, you know what? I'm going to pay for his meal also. And she looked, and she was like, wait, what? Like, you don't know him? And I said, it's not that I needed to know him, it's what I'm called to do.
Come on.
And so the little boy, he was looking at me and he was watching me. So he came to my house after work. I was taking him home, and we stopped by the same store. And so there was another individual that's standing outside, and he was homeless. And he asked me, he said, can I give him $1? And I was like, of course, I'm thinking that he has the dollar too. So I'm like, of course, give him the $1. Right. And he said, but I need $1 from you. And I said, okay, that's fine. Gave him the $1. And he ran to this gentleman, and he handed him the money. By him seeing me doing that interaction with another individual, that put that in him to be like, you know what, I need to have heart for the people, because we never know who's doing better than us versus who's doing worse than us.
Come on.
But it was just that act of kindness. So it's so important that we pour into each other, not to judge or say like, well, this is what I'm doing out here, but to do the work of he who called us.
Come on, Netta.
Thank you so much for that story. Thank you so much for sharing that, because as powerful, everyone catch this, as powerful as that was a seed to that young man. To both, to the recipient, letting him know that he is still worth something in love. Someone saw him. He is somebody. And somebody thought about him to feed him. And then also to the young child, these are seeds that we're putting in. So I say that because we have to understand that seeds can be good and seeds can be bad.
Right.
So everything we do, people are watching.
Yes.
So we need to allow our light to shine in that area of kindness and servanthood towards others. So
y'all ladies on here preaching. Y'all preaching today.
That was awesome. Yes. Okay, this one's for Lightning, and we know this one's for her. What does it mean as it relates to faith, making time to read your Bible?
Woo! Listen, y'all laughing about this. So last night, I told one of my friends this morning from the Light Church, I was up last night. I really didn't get much sleep. And the reason being is because I was reading my Bible. So I went to sleep. I thought it was so endearing that I was on the phone with her, and we were talking about some business for church and getting some events and things done. And, you know, she was getting a little sleepy. And I said, well, let me go ahead and get my Bible so I can read my Bible to you. And go figure, I pulled out that Bible and I read, I was in Romans. I started reading Romans to her, and we prayed, we got off the phone. And I said, I'm going to stay up a little bit longer and I'm going to continue reading my word. Oh, it's so funny you asked me this question. Because I said, listen, I have to be, I had my day on Friday from work. I said, what am I going to do for the day? I'm finishing up a few things. I said, I need to spend some time with God. I need to spend some time in my word. And that's what I'm going to do. Just to be intentional with that. Because faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Amen?
Amen.
So, y'all come on, listen. I'm trying not to do this today. I'm trying not to preach up in here. But I'm telling you, it's so important that we read his word. We have to have a firm foundation in his word to know what his promises are for us and what he wants for us. So when you say making time, we're busy. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's one thing we need to be intentional on, is opening up that word. Whether you want to do it in a physical Bible, Yasmina, you already know we got matching Bibles and it's real thick.
Do. Yes,
Either you want to open up that physical Bible, or you can get online or listen to it audibly. It's real important that we read our word. It's so important. And I encourage everybody to do so. But yes, it will definitely increase your faith. There's so much in that. It's a living word. It's a living word. And so, yes, I stayed up last night reading, and I'm working on being more intentional and making sure I give God the amount of time that he deserves, not what's left over.
That is so very good.
Yeah.
And you know what, Lightning, you're right. Thunder and Lightning, everybody. We have matching Bibles.
Matching Bibles.
Funny enough, I know that is funny, but we do.
Yes.
So that is a funny little piece of information. But we have to understand that we are vessels.
Yes.
So picture a vase. So a vase that's empty. Now you can fill it with whatever you want to fill it with. But when you fill it with whatever you fill it with, you won't have room for other things. So if you fill it with rocks, if you fill it with mud, you're not going to have room. So we have to make sure that our vessels are filled the right way. That's why it's so important. And we must be intentional with what we put into ourselves, into this, what we read, what we see, what we do. And no, that doesn't mean we're human beings. So because we're part flesh, now it's not always going to be peaches and roses. No, it's not. I mean, for some of us, it's a little easier than others. For some of us, we got to really work. Yes. But guess what? Because of the Lord, I know I can. I know you can. Yes. So fill your vessel with what's supposed to be there, so there is no room for anything else.
I love that.
And the way to do that is reading that word. And when you read, your faith is built.
It is.
When you're reading, when LaNetta's reading for school and reading these subjects and reading about the mind, and, that's building her. That's encouraging her.
Absolutely.
That's filling her. That is what we do. So that's why, both these ladies are readers. So, and they're very intentional with what they read. But you can tell when you talk to them that they are, because what you put in will come out.
That's
so
right.
thank you so much for that. And it's kind of crazy how both of your stories went with a story you both had. Isn't that funny how that flowed?
Right. It really
that was
did.
funny,
It really did.
That was, it was perfect. It was so perfect. Nice. I, of course, have some more little nuggets, but we're going to stop here today, everybody, because time is coming to a near. And but we're going to do some closing remarks because we just want you guys to understand that living by faith is not easy. We're saying, you know, we must live by faith. We must walk by faith. We must not walk by sight, because life is going to throw at you things that when you look at, there's no possible. Think of last year. Think of COVID.
Yeah.
That threw so many things off. So, you know, looking at things that way, we can't do that. We have to look at them from the inside out. We have to have our eyes of faith. If we want to, those of us who truly want to please the Lord, well, then we need to make sure our faith walk is right and tight.
Yes.
And, you know, and that's what we're here to talk about. We're just here to remind you, just to encourage you that you can do it. You can walk by faith. Just like Terri said, we all have a measure of it. Everybody has a measure of it. You have faith that your car is going to start. You have faith that your chair is going to hold you up. You have faith that that bed's going to use that faith and let it grow.
Right.
Turn your direction upwards. It's okay. You don't have all the answers. You're not supposed to. So those were my closing remarks. LaNetta, what do you have for us?
I just want everybody to remember that God is the beginning and the end. So in between is him to correct and guide us through. Also, in every storm, in the middle of that tornado, when the world is spinning and turning and crashing together, look up and there is peace. So just remember that, to look up.
Look up.
Wait. Before you close out, Lightning, I have to. This is crazy. You don't know this, but that was on my notes. Do you know the next nugget I was going to make? I'm sorry. I get excited over stuff, everybody. But you should be used to this by now. Just because the next thing that was there was, hold on. Let me wait. Keep your focus up towards heaven. Woo, that was the next nugget. So she spoke on it. She was next to speak. And she spoke on it anyway in her closing remarks. Now that's what's up. Talk about being in the spirit. But that does excite me right there. Because you guys all have to understand, these ladies never know what I'm going to say.
No.
These ladies never know what I'm going to ask.
Right.
These ladies never know what I'm going to do. And it always flows because they have faith in this.
We do.
And so that's what's up. Okay. Lightning, since you're in the studio, tell us, what's your closing remarks?
Absolutely. Definitely walk by faith and just have confidence in God. Just being reassured. I mean, the word says, and this is the confidence that we have in him, that anything that we ask according to his will, that he hears us. And we know that if he hears us, that whatsoever we ask, we have the petitions that we ask of him. So pray God's will in your life. Continue. Remember, we have to pray his will, and that's going to give you that reassurance of knowing that we can walk in faith, and those prayers will be answered because we're praying his will. So remember, you can have confidence in that. It's his word. Thank you for touching on that. Terri did an awesome job in telling us about her walk of faith in her life. We just have to continue to do that and be mindful. Once again, without faith, it's impossible to please God, and we want to make sure that we please him. So keep it up. You listen, if y'all need some help in this area, like you say, I know Thunder all the time, reach out to us. If you need someone to talk to, we're here. We are definitely all supportive women. We want to support you in that. If you feel like your faith is dwindling or you feel weak or, reach out. We want to encourage you in that, but definitely keep the faith in whatever it is that you're going through. Keep that faith.
And I like how you told everybody to reach out. Everybody listen. Yeah. We know and we have faith in the tables that we have. Our tables will hold what we put on them, right? Right. But the tables need legs to help them, to hold them up. So reach out. Those are your legs. Those are your arms. Yep. Reach out to those around you. I could not do this if it weren't for my little group. These two right here, there's no way. And that's just a fact. You. Does that make me feel that I'm weak? Nope. It makes me feel that I'm pretty wise because I know enough to know I cannot do this on my own. So I say that to you to encourage you and to remind you, reaching out
Yes.
that's a sign of strength.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a sign of
Absolutely.
strength. So thank you so much, everybody. Remember the Central Valley Championships, August 21st.
Yes.
Terri Reeves, the promoter of that show. It's going to be the 10+1 celebration.
Hey.
You need to be there. We're going to be there. We're going to have
there.
fun.
Yes.
So everybody, thank you for joining us again today. And, I feel like I'm in like a soap opera.
Hair's just flowing. Yes, it
really,
is.
I have this fan on because I'm hot. Middle-aged women, we get hot. So anyway, I will say thank you for joining us today. Yes. We're here every first and third Saturday from 2 to 3. And we just want to share. And we just are happy that you're here to share with us. Have an amazing day. And I'm Yasmina of Just Say Yeah, here to tell you about what it means to love me, love life, live healthy. And remember to just say yeah. Yeah.
The most